of Monday, August 5th to order. First item, approval of minutes of July 15th. Motion by Mr. Fire, second by Mr. Bargender. Questions, comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Citizens' comment. Anybody have any comments? Okay, we'll move on. Construction update presented by Dean Scheller. First of all, Dean is the street superintendent. Dean.
Good evening. So last week we kind of finished up paving on a few roads already. We finished paving on Fillmore, Webster, Hickory Street, and Hickory Court. We still have to shoulder on those roads. We usually come in a few weeks afterwards when we have a larger area to shoulder or a larger quantity, so we can do it, fill in a whole day shouldering. This week, potentially later this week, we'll be on Columbus, and that's between Adler and Fifth. Last year we did work on Columbus Street, but we just put the binder down, and then winter started already in November, so we still needed to put the surface layer on Columbus. So later this week, potentially Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, American Asphalt will be up there doing that. Otherwise, right now, our one crew is working over on Schmidt with the ditch work. They're kind of coming up the tail end here where we're doing the ditch work and the tiling. That'll be a few weeks over there. Our other crew, our sanitary crew, is finishing up on Severns. They should finish up over there tomorrow. Then the gas company will be coming in for a couple weeks, and then our ditching crew will be in after that. So that road will kind of be a mess for a while yet. McMillan, Marathon County did the majority of the work on replacing the box culvert out there by Galvin. The city of Marshville participated with some labor and then also materials. They have probably a good day left out there of restoring the shoulder widening that was going on, and then the culvert work. It'll probably be paved later next week. Anywhere's probably around Thursday right now, kind of where we're looking at having things scheduled in. That road will remain closed until that point. It just didn't pay to open it up for a couple days and then close it down. It just confuses traffic. So that will remain closed until it is paved. Our chip seal program, that started today. They started over on, I know they were over on 14th today between Adams and Lincoln doing some chip seal, and they'll make their way around the city on that list. That's all I have. Any questions?
Any questions for Dean? Okay, thank you, Dean. Next up, we'll have Mr. What's his name? Dan.
Dan, yeah.
We'll give the in place of Tom Turchie. Go ahead, Dan. Please.
Sure. I'll just start by following up with Dean's mention of the culvert on McMillan. Tom had put some pictures together in his report, and so I put those up on the screen, and you can see the box culvert. It was precast sections that came in. They were set with a crane, went pretty well. And then I think he's got a picture of what the old one looks like. So there you can see the difference in the upper left between the new one and the old one. And initially, our intention was to lengthen that existing arch pipe because, as you probably noticed, we were losing some shoulder material and it was pretty steep off the edges there. As we got into it further, inspecting the old culvert, we realized that was showing some pitting and some rusting, and you can see that in the photo. We were fortunate to get in on some funding through Marathon County. That's why they're doing the work. There's a 50-50, call it their bridge aid projects, and Tim was able to work that through the channels and secure some funding for us. So it's been a great partnership. Wood County's been involved in some degree as well, since we're on the county line there and with city forces. So it's really been it's good to have these three entities working together. Other things that Tom had in his update, just on Central Avenue, you've all seen that one as you're driving up and down North Central. Now, of course, traffic has been moved to the center lanes, and they're patching the concrete in the outside lanes, widening between Cleveland, Edison, as you approach the Daggy Street intersection, and similar to what we saw in the first phase, but just the concrete base patching going on, and Tom had a bunch of pictures in there of that as well. Also on our agenda tonight is to approve some bids for trail construction, which is the segment through the Marshfield Clinic campus. We had some favorable bids on that, opened up last week, so we'll be recommending that award this evening, and that work will be done yet this fall. So those are the main things out of engineering. If there's any questions.
Any questions for Dan? Okay, thank you, Dan. Number 5, approval of a request for proposals for construction manager services for the Outdoor Aquatic Center, presented by Justin Casperson, Park and Recreation Director. Justin.
Good evening. Yes, the memo is to seek approval for proposal for construction management services for the new Outdoor Aquatic Center. In June, we hired Ayers & Associates for our architectural and engineering services. We have been working with Ayers since 2016 on the project. As we get closer to completion of that design phase, we think it's important the city consider a construction management firm to be brought in to help out with cost savings and bid and phasing, as well as being a conduit for the city to make sure we're on schedule and on budget. In the past, we have used a construction management firm with the fire department a number of years ago, and just recently the library community center project. Our goal here is to solicit RFPs and then bring it back to this group for consideration on what direction to do next.
So I'm looking for a motion to, do we have somebody in mind already, Justin, for the construction managers? This to put a proposal out.
This will put the proposal out and we'll start soliciting.
Motion by Mr. Fire, second by Mr. Bargender. Questions? All those in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you.
Okay, as Dan said, we'll go to number 6, award bid for Wildwood McMillan connector trail on the Marshfield Clinic campus segment.
All right, thank you. Yeah, so these bids were opened on July 29th, and this is a standalone project, mostly sidewalk type work, because that trail will be concrete surface through that clinic campus segment. We received 2 bids. The low bid is from Earth Inc. out of Arpin. We're happy with the numbers that we've seen from Earth. Tom noted in the memo here that the project budget is $250,000, but there's several other items in this budget that are outside of the main contract, and that is there's some minor utility relocations. The joint sealing and pavement marking will be done by the city garage staff. Some temporary and permanent signage and traffic control will be done with our own forces, and then landscaping is outside of this contract. So with this bid number from Earth, we're in pretty good shape with our overall budget. The recommendation is to award this contract to Earth Inc. of Arpin in the amount of $160,701.85 and authorize execution of that contract.
I have a motion by Mr. Fire, second by Mr. Bargander. Questions? Go ahead.
I guess by the numbers here, 160 versus 230, there's a considerable difference. Any explanation on your part, Dan, why that would be? Or
I'm not sure if we really know the difference here. We've had Kasner Excavating bid on other projects, and typically they've been a little bit higher than the average on ours. I think this is kind of a unique project here because it's not a lot of grading. So if you're a big excavating contractor, there's not a lot of grading there. There's some removals, and a lot of it depends on who you're getting for your subs. So I think because we've worked with Earth so much in the past, we have confidence in their numbers and that they have taken a good look at the project. So I'd be more concerned if the numbers were flipped and we had a newer contractor that we haven't used as often with the lowest number and Earth being the higher number, just because Earth tends to take a pretty good look at these projects.
thank you.
Okay, all those in favor of the motion, say aye. Those opposed, Motion carries. Next item is number 7, approval of Board of Public Works Resolution number 01-219 for sidewalk repairs presented by Dan Connect, Director of Public Works. Dan.
Thank you. This is our annual sidewalk inspection and ordered repairs resolution. Accompanying this resolution is a list of properties that have been inspected and need some sidewalk repairs. I have an updated list here, which will appear in the council packet next week. Some of the people have actually done some of this work already without even receiving a notice from the city. So those names will come off the list before mailings go out. Each year, we think we're going to try to get a jump on this and get it out earlier in the spring, and for whatever reason, as we get tied up with other projects, gets out later in the summer. So often, especially in a summer like this, when contractors are very busy, people might struggle to find someone to do this work for them. So even if you notice in the resolution, it says the work has to be completed within 20 days. Our cover letter, when we send this out, will tell people they have much more time than that, probably until spring, because we wouldn't be coming back around for an inspection until spring of 2020. But this gives people plenty of time then to plan for it, and if they have to budget accordingly, then they can work that in. So the recommended action is to approve this resolution, sidewalk orders for 2019.
Motion by Mr. Bargender, second by Mr. Fire. Questions? All those in favor of the motion, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Number 8, recommended items for future agendas. Anybody have anything? Okay, then I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr. Bargender, second by Mr. Fire. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, we are adjourned. Thank you.